so jumping into the tutorial today, I am filling my brows in with my little wine-shaped brow tint gel. And I just used a uh, stencil for it. I couldn't think of the word. And then I am just priming my lids and adding a little bit of concealer under my one eye. And you're going to see why we do this here in a second. But right now we're just going to focus on the one side of my face. I chose the right side. I don't know if that's the correct side to do Phantom of the Opera, but it's the side I went with. So I am just blending all of that out so this eye looks really flawless. And then I'm going in with a light matte gray color and just doing a really glamorous eye. Obviously, this is up to your interpretation. I wanted to focus on the colors that you see a lot on the promo materials, the silvers, the black, the red. So I went in with this gray for this really dramatic kind of smoky eye. And I am using a flat brush to lay it all down because I wanted it to be cut crease-esque. Then I'm going in with this shimmery shade. It's just like a shimmery silver, and that's going to be the base. And then I went back in with a little bit of a darker gray shade to just deepen that crease up and re-establish where the crease was and get rid of some of that shimmer. Now I'm going in under my brow with a matte white and packing that on pretty heavily just to make my brow look even more arched and just bring more attention and contrast to this side of my face versus the side that we are going to paint momentarily. So I went in with a little bit more of a white shimmery color and just packed that on my lid. On top of that base, I am putting this really shimmery reflective silver glitter, and I'm using the NYX Glitter Glue Eye Base to lay this down and make it stick. Then, as always, going in with some liner, I'm just going to give myself a really dramatic wing. When working with glitter, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get the liner just right, so you'll see it takes me a little bit longer today to really make sure it's filled in. But I would say if you're doing this look, go over your liner at least twice just to make sure that you really have it perfect. Going in with my foundation, I'm just using my Conceal and Define, and I really made sure to build this up because I want, again, that contrast between each side of my face. And then I just buffed it out with a brush. This is all pretty standard to any of my other tutorials, so just do your full coverage foundation routine if you have one. If not, you can just do your regular foundation routine, but just make sure you only do it on the parts of your face that are not going to be covered with the white face paint. Once you've got all that done, you're going to go in with your concealer and just really define your features. I decided that I wanted to do my jaw and under my eye, make sure that it was really bright. This is optional, you don't have to do this, but if you're really looking to get that dramatic effect, I definitely recommend just bringing some of your features out and making them more dramatic than you normally would do them. This is Halloween makeup, so it's allowed to be fun. It doesn't need to look absolutely perfect. But you know, play with it a little bit, have fun with it. This is the perfect time of year to try new techniques. So then I went in with my contour, again, just on the one side of my face, and I'm just carving out that cheekbone to give me that really striking appearance. For the rest of my cheeks, I just added a little wash of color with some blush. And then under the eye, I went in with a red pencil and just add that to the under eye for a more dramatic effect and to bring some of that red that you see on like the playbills and stuff into the look. Now going in on the other half of our face, we're really just going to focus on the eye, and we want to make the eye look tired and sunken in. So as you'll see, I covered my brow with some glue and concealer. So I'm going right underneath my brow bone and using really dark browns and reds to create this kind of sleepless sunken in look. Very similar to the Bellatrix looks I did yesterday. If you guys didn't check that out, you should. But right here, you want to be messy. You don't need to be precise. You want to look like the Phantom. It can look scary, gory, spooky, however intense you want to make it. If you guys want to do a version of this where it's like the Phantom without the mask, go check out my Freddy Krueger History of Horror. I'll leave that linked for you in a card up above. That will show you guys how to do some kind of like burn makeup that would fit the character as well. But I'm just going in with this concealer brush, just going all around my eye to create that really tired look. And then I decided I wanted to do my lips real quick because once I do the mask, it'll be easier to paint after my lips are already done. So I just use this dark purple liner, and then I use a red lip just to fit the motif and this kind of like 18th century France, old style opera house makeup. This is a very, very deep red, as you can see. It's almost, I think it's like a brown based red. But yeah, it has some like gold glitter into it, so it's very dramatic, it's very fun, but it fits this kind of dark gothic aesthetic I was going for. Now comes the most important part of the look, the mask. So you're going to want to select a version of the Phantom and what mask you want to use. I personally use the Gerard Butler version from the movie, and all you need is some white paint. I'm using a cream base, but you can use water base since we don't have anything under the skin. But I just took my brush and started laying out the general shape. So it doesn't cover his whole face, it just covers the part that is burned. So I wanted to make sure I really stuck to that kind of shape. So I'm going around the eye, making sure there's a nice large eye hole because there is quite a bit of space on this version of the mask on the eye hole. And then I'm just filling it in. You need to go down just about to your jawline, half your nose, maybe a little more than half of your nose, and up the forehead. Because the mask is kind of like molded for his face, so it's just sitting on his face, like it's perfectly stuck there. So I just went around the eye, making sure I stay true to that shape. And now we're going to start adding the details. So if you look at the masks, a lot of them have these little creases like molded into them. So I'm taking a gray shadow on a very thin brush and adding those creases. So there's like a smile line, and then there's a bit of a shadow that goes underneath the eyes and underneath the bottom part. And just to make sure that they weren't too dark and looked more like they were molded into the mask, I just took my brush and kind of corked my cheek up so it created that natural crease, and then tapped a little more paint over top of it so that it was a little more blended, and then I powdered that area. And this is trial and error. Sometimes you need to go back in with the shadow, do a little more, do a little less. It's up to you. Then I went over top of my eyebrow because the mask actually has this kind of brow bone shadowing to it. So I just did that right over my brow and basically just mimic your reference photos. After you have all your little creases put on, you are done. I threw on this brown curly wig, kind of mimic Christine's hair, and this black dress I have, and if you have a cape, add that too. I just surprisingly don't have one. But I hope you guys are enjoying this series so far. I hope you're enjoying your pumpkin drinks from Starbucks, and I will see you guys in the next one.